All right, YouTubers, welcome back to War Thunder Ground Forces with the Angry Nerd. And today, I thought we'd take a look at the American M22 Locust. Now, the M22 Locust, officially the light tank Airborne M22, was an American-designed airborne light tank which was produced during World War II. The M22 began development in 1941 after the British War Office requested that the American government design a purpose-built airborne light tank which could be transported by glider into battle to support British airborne forces. The British, up until this point, had been using the light tank Mark 7 Tetrek for the role. However, the Tetrek did not start out as an airborne tank, so it was believed to be inferior to a vehicle that would be specifically designed for the role. The United States Ordnance Department was asked to produce this replacement, which in turn selected Marmon Harrington to design and build a prototype airborne tank in May 1941. Marmon Harrington was already a trusted producer of light tanks for the United States Marine Corps and were seen as the perfect candidate to produce the United States' first air mobile tank. The design specifications were for a tank light in weight that would be able to be transported by either the U.S.'s Douglas C-54 Skymaster transport, the Fairchild C-82 packet, or the British General Aircraft Hamilcar glider. The first prototype was designated Light Tank T9 Airborne, and the British placed an order for the tanks, with production set to begin in late 1942. In April 1942, a trial vehicle was produced and sent to Fort Benning, Georgia for testing. Between the concept phase and pilot phases, however, the tank exceeded its 7.9-ton weight limit. This led to the deletion of some of the tank's extra features, such as the power traverse for the turret, the gun stabilizer, and the fixed bow machine guns, bringing the weight back down to 7.4 tons. After the modifications were made to the initial prototype, two prototypes of this revised design were produced in November 1942 and designated the T9E1. One of these vehicles was dispatched to Great Britain for testing, along with an accompanying team of engineers. The team reported that the tank was well received and that the British were more than happy to purchase the tank. Further tests by both nations' armored boards only highlighted more faults appearing with the M22's design. Testers at Fort Knox summed up their report to the Ordnance Department like this: "The light tank T9 is not a satisfactory combat vehicle in its present state of development due to the lack of adequate reliability and durability, and cannot be used for landing operations with any degree of success." For the U.S., the first issue was with the very core of the tank's reason for being, its air mobile capability. It was found that loading the M22 onto a Douglas C-54 transport was awkward and time-consuming at best. This was because the vehicle had to be decapitated. The turret had to be hoisted off the hull and placed inside the aircraft, and then the hull was driven under the belly of the C-54. It would then be suspended from the aircraft via the lifting eyes on the right and left flanks of the tank above the suspension bogies. Using the C-54 or the C-82 packet would require the capture of a suitable airfield, and they may or may not be located where the airborne forces were needed. And if one did exist in the area, landing a fully loaded C-54 and reassembling a tank under fire in combat conditions was not ideal. Production of the T-9E1 began in April 1943. Marmon Harrington only began to produce significant numbers of the T-9E1 in late 1943 and early 1944, and by then the design was considered to be obsolete. The tank didn't officially receive its M22 designation until late 1944. Only 830 were built by the time production ended in February 1945. 2 American combat units were equipped with the M22 for training, but these units were not deployed as the U.S. lost interest in the M22. 25 M22s were deployed to the European theater by U.S. forces. These were sent to the 6th Army Group in Alsace for potential use by the 1st Airborne Division. Despite the M22's highlighted faults, the British War Office still wanted the tanks, believing they were more than adequate for their intended role, and the U.S. War Office believed that the tank would perform adequately for the British despite its faults, and 260 were shipped to Great Britain under the Lend-Lease Act, with the British eventually nicknaming it the Locust. 17 Locusts were received by the 6th Airborne Armored Reconnaissance Regiment in late 1943, but mechanical problems led to the tanks being withdrawn in favor of the Tetrax previously used by the regiment. In October 1944, the regiment's remaining Tetrax were replaced with the M22, and 8 were used during Operation Varsity in 1945. The tanks did not perform well in action. Several were damaged during the landing process, and one was knocked out by a German self-propelled gun. Only 2 of the 8 were able to reach their planned rendezvous point and go into action, occupying a piece of high ground along with an infantry company. The tanks were forced to withdraw from the position after several hours because they attracted repeated artillery fire that caused the infantry to suffer heavy casualties. The Locust never saw active service with the British Army again after World War II and was classified as obsolete in 1946. A number of Locusts were used by foreign militaries in the post-war period, however. The Belgian Army used Locust as command tanks for their M4 Sherman tank regiments, and the Egyptian Army used several company-sized units of Locust during the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. The M22 was one of the smallest tanks the United States has ever built, yet it still carried a crew of 3. The commander, who also served as the loader, and the gunner were positioned in the turret, with the driver positioned to the right side of the hull. The M22 was fast, propelled by a 165 horsepower 6-cylinder gasoline engine. The tank, in theory, could reach 40 miles per hour, or 64 kilometers per hour. The M22's speed was also to serve as its protection. It was not designed to fight it out against heavy enemy armor, merely supply its accompanying airborne infantry with light armored support. As such, armor on the vehicle was only 12.5 millimeters at its thickest. The main armament consisted of the 37mm tank gun M6. This was the same gun found on the M3 and M5 Stuart light tanks, the M3 Lee and Grant, and the M8 armored car. It could fire a range of ammunition types, including APC-BC, armor-piercing capped ballistic capped, and high explosive. The AP ammunition could penetrate roughly 25 millimeters, 1 inch of armor at 1,000 yards or 910 meters. The secondary armament consisted of a single coaxial Browning M1919 30 caliber machine gun or 7.62 millimeter, mounted on the right side of the main gun. Now, in War Thunder Arcade, the M22 Locust is located in the American tech tree. It is a rank 1 light tank with a battle rating of 1.7. It has a 366 horsepower engine propelling the 7.4 ton vehicle to a top speed of 39 miles per hour. It comes equipped with a 37mm M6 cannon and a 7.62mm machine gun. Now I have it assigned to an expert crew with a crew level of 150, which gives me a reload of 3 seconds. So what do I think of the M22 Locust here in War Thunder Arcade? It's actually quite a fun vehicle to play. It's extremely fast. Its armor is quite thin, but that front armor is sloped and it will occasionally bounce around or two. Its gun will handle almost anything it faces at its battle rating. But if I had to give you one item that I don't particularly like about this tank, that would be its turret traverse and stabilization. That can mean that it takes a little longer to aim at your target sometimes, so just be aware of that. That being said, why don't we hop into a game?
You think this is a game? Well, guess what? You just lost.
Ho ho ho, back the truck up. Let's all remember, folks, be kind in chat. It's only a game. All right, we picked up Karelia. We're on the southern side of the map. Cap Point is northern side. I think I'm going to use the speed of the M22 to try to get up around A3, maybe A4, somewhere around in there. I think it's A3. But anyway, here we go. Another M22 here. This might be a bad idea, but I think I had the speed to do it. I've done it in slower vehicles. And the Locust is fast. We're going to take this road to the left. It's a little bit lower. Might give us a little more cover. I'm not seeing any enemy activity on the mini-map. But that doesn't mean that they're not there yet. No problem. We do have an enemy, a couple of enemies heading over toward the A. I'll work around here and get in a position. If I can bring some fire onto them. See, we got somebody coming right up through here, looks like. Oh, right there. All right. Sorry, static. See, around this way. I'm sure that guy's gonna be back. They always come back. The driver. Gonna get the guy in the crew, the turret. Got him. Whoa. The 3 after me. K-72 there. See if we can get the driver. Nope. Couldn't get the driver. Oh, what do we got here? Got one more in there. There we go. Peek around here. Don't really see anything. Oh, an M22. Back of the turret. Let's get the engine, turret. Back to the engine. There we go. Oh, we might be able to take out aircraft. Might get killed by an aircraft. Lord. Alright. Drop some arty. Here we go. Got 12 bombs. Drop a couple right here. Let's just run this line right here. Drop them all and get out. Alright. 2 targets destroyed. Nice. Somebody might be coming this way. That's a quick repair. For some reason I thought I saw something, but maybe not. Oh, yes I did. Okay. Bombs. Sorry I had to do that to you again, Static, but yeah. Happens sometimes. Let's see, we might need to move up some. No shot. Okay, we hit him. Got him. Worked out well. Arty. A couple of tank destroyers coming on this road. Shot at them, but depends on 3 sponsor bots. There's those TDs. Shoot that guy. Oh, feeling a little bit exposed. Those tank destroyers are heading for the cap. Not really doing much damage to this guy. Alright, let's come down here. Alright, we got one of the tank destroyers with our arty. Somebody's coming this way. Hit track. I think he just got blown up. Alright, let's go see if we can bring fire on the cap. Oh. BP-7 behind a rock. Let's see what else is out here. There we go. Alright. Oh, he's turning toward me. I really don't have the gun to pin him from the front. Still looking at me. Use your camera views. Don't look around corners, guys. Keep you from getting obliterated sometimes. He's a TD and he's not directly pointing at me. Did nothing. Getting some damage, but I'm not finishing him off. Dang it. Who hit me? Oh, man. All right. Mike can take out another plane. Parked right down here. Drop some arty. Got 4 bombs. Got 1 enemy aircraft coming toward me. Both engines out. Alright, control is getting a little hard here. Hold on, see if we can't drop some. No. Nothing. Nothing. Okay. Excellent. Thought some vehicles were about to come through here. Drop some arty, just in case they're coming. They stopped. Alright, well that's most of my arty. Let's take a look. Oh no! I'm out of ammo! Dang it! Man! No ammo. Alright, let's take in the backup vehicle. This thing only holds... I keep forgetting this thing only holds 50 rounds. And the game is over. Alright, let's see what we did. Look at the awards: Adamant, Double Strike, Tank Rescuer, Shadow Strike Streak, Teamwork, Professional, Heavy Metal Hero, the Best Squad, 12 kills, but I did die. So that was a look at the M22 Locust. Evidently a much better vehicle here in War Thunder than it was in real life. If you've liked this look at the M22 Locust, hit that like button. If you didn't, don't. Subscribe if you would. But as always, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Nerd out.